welcome to my next video. I know that I didn't come on in here for about a month, but what I think that I like to do are quality videos over quantity, so that's why you're getting not many videos, because I have a specific channel which speaks about aviation. I just want to find the most interesting stuff to tell you guys. So today we're gonna speak about this. And yes, this happened on one of my flights while I was still based in Berlin. I think I was like a year or so in the company, so I was still kind of pretty new. And it was a situation that I experienced for the first time, this kind of situation, because I had loud passengers before on board. But they were just loud passengers and we just had to deal with them as usual. So probably we just would warn them a few times to be a bit quieter, because of other passengers complaining, stuff like this. But this time was different because we made it to the newspaper. And each time there is something happening on board, some kind of event, we need to write a report. After we finish our shift, we need to go to our crew rooms and write just a report, basically what happened, each person's perspective, because we've got 4 crew members on board, so each crew member has a different perspective, so we need to say it, what happened basically. So this time this report had to be a bit more detailed, just because it made to the press. So press would call Ryanair and ask for more questions. So we had to be a bit more specific than usual on these reports. So basically, as you could see by the title there, I will leave a link below to this article as well if you want to have a look on that. So basically the passengers were singing songs, and it wasn't anything out of ordinary at first for us, for all the crew. And just a side note, all the crew that day wasn't German, so none of us spoke German. None of us understood German. The passengers did because we were flying out of Berlin, but we as a Ryanair cabin crew, we are not required to speak the language that we are, the base that we are in, we are not required to speak the language. So for example, if you're based in Spain, you are not required to speak Spanish and stuff like that. We just required to speak English because the company is Irish, where the language is English. So there is no such a need for you to speak German. It's an asset. You're an asset to the company if you do speak additional language, because you can either sell more and stuff like that. But there's no such a need to speak additional language other than English. So we were continuing as usual with our service. The passengers were allowed, the other passengers were complaining. We tried kinda to, calm them down. There was nothing much we can do because they were probably drunk. The only thing we could do is to stop serving them alcohol, which I presume we did. I just don't remember because it was so many years ago already, but I presume we did that because that's what you do in a situation like that when there is a bad behavior from a passenger. 9 times out of 10 they are drunk, so you just stop selling them alcohol, and you have to do it for other passengers as well, so they don't see basically that you sell the other passengers and you don't sell for them, because they're gonna get even more upset. So and that's the thing, the only thing we could do to stop them from being louder and louder. But if or maybe not, when you are in the sky, it's like if you are drunk on the ground, it's a different kind of level of drunkenness, because the altitude and everything does its thing, and it's few times you feel more drunk in the sky than on the ground, basically what I'm trying to say. So that probably was one of the things why they were behaving that way. Also, they had t-shirts with some kind of writings on it, and then from the article I got to know that they were some kind of racist stuff they had written on those t-shirts, and they were also singing kind of racist songs as well. So I didn't know that until the article actually came out. The company didn't update us in any way. I just got to know that from the article what they were actually doing, and if we were aware what they were doing, we would obviously try to either stop them or land somewhere else, just because of the the behavior and what they were singing and saying. But none of the passengers told us as well, I think, at least to me, what they were, singing about, talking about, what was on their t-shirts and stuff like that. It was a flight to Palma de Mallorca, so holiday destination, or 100% holiday destination. So they were going for holidays, I presume. But just a note to you guys as well. If you're a passenger, if you're flying, not even with Ryanair, but other airline, to try to be on your best behavior, because the cabin crew is there from not really minding you when you are drunk, but they have to mind all the people in the airplane, and be aware, 100% aware of what's happening, and safety is our first priority. And then if someone is drunk, there is just another thing on top of another that we have to take care of, and then we get a bit distracted, a bit stressed out, and we sometimes we need to be on top of those things, and it's sometimes very hard. And then people say, in this article it was written that one of the passengers spoke out. I think it was her that went to the newspaper, that cabin crew did not absolutely anything, and that's a lie. Most of the stuff in the TV or newspapers, half is the true, half is a lie. And in this case was a lie, because we were not aware what they were saying, and we did all the things that we could to maybe not to stop them, but getting the situation much worse, because we stopped serving them alcohol. I presume we went to them more than twice, probably, to calm them down a bit. I just don't remember that as much already. What else you have to do in this kind of situation is to inform the captain that there is this kind of situation happening on board, and you just need to keep them updated every so often, just in case the situation gets worse. And the last resource is really to do emergency landing on a different airport. And I had a situation like that when I had to. Well, it was actually planned to land on the different airport because it was summer, and as we know, summer in aviation is very busy. Pre all the stuff happening, it was very busy, although it's getting busy now as well. And there was some strike in Portugal. I had a flight from Berlin to Portugal, and there was a strike in Portugal, and they did not, they couldn't give us any fuel because it was a strike of a ground staff. So we had to plan a stop in Seville in Spain to land there and refuel, so we can go back from Portugal, normally. So it was a planned stop. We told this to the passengers, listen, you can leave now before we take off, or you can come along, and just, be aware that we have to land in Seville to refuel. And there was this one passenger on board. I'm not too sure if he was drunk or not, but he was just arguing. Maybe he had a bad day or something like that. And mid-flight to Seville, before we landed at Seville, he became kind of aggressive. He even wanted to go a bit physical with my colleague. I don't remember if he wanted to hit him. There was something going on. My colleague got very nervous as well. But the most important thing in this kind of situation is to become calm. I know it's hard, but you just have to, stay calm and just follow the rules that the company taught you. But when we landed in Seville, so to refuel, we called the police, and the police took him in Seville, so he didn't manage to get to his final destination, which was Portugal, just because he was a threat, to the airplane, to the crew, to the other passengers. So each time there is something like that happening on board, the last resource is to so-called offload the passenger. That's the last resource, but there's no other way. We are flying 37,000 feet, and there is nothing much we can do. The first resource would be just to calm them down, warn them a couple of times, but then if there is no change, then you can't do anything, unfortunately. So yeah, that was a short story that I wanted to share with you guys today, about kinda emergency landing when the passengers are not they are not on their best behavior. So just wanted to remind you guys that when you are nervous, if you're a nervous flyer, try not to calm yourself down with the alcohol. There are many other ways to calm down. Travel with your family or friends. If you need to travel somewhere by plane and you're afraid, just don't get drunk or don't get intoxicated, because this is real threat to the crew, to the pilots, to the passengers. There is also, I don't know if you're aware, there is an airline, Jet2, and there is a video going around. It's kind of fresh case, that the lady was drunk because she was a nervous flyer, as she told after the accident happened. But they had to, I'm not too sure if they had to land somewhere else to offload her, because she was just going on to the crew and almost like slapping. I think she also slapped the passenger. I'm not too sure about the whole situation. But she got a fine, £5,000 fine to pay, and she has a life ban from flying with Jet2 because of what she did. So that might be the outcome. I'm not too sure what was the outcome for our passenger, for example, that got offloaded in Seville in Spain, as I told you before. Maybe he got a fine as well, probably. But yeah, just to make you aware that if you're a nervous flyer, there are other ways to travel. You don't have to always choose an airplane, or there are always different ways to relax your body, your mind. You don't have to get drunk, because this is a threat to yourself as well, because you can injure yourself mid-flight, and then you can get a very hefty fine, or you can even get banned from flying the airline. And Ryanair is this kind of airline that gets you from one city to the other, and the other airlines don't do this kind of routes. So if you are for some reason drunk on that day, be careful, because I'm not working for the company anymore, Ryanair can ban you, and you will lose an access to a remote place where you're flying often. So I hope you like this video, guys. I also receive messages all the time, and I'm so grateful for them, about Ryanair recruitment process. You can always text me if you have questions about accommodation in Han as well, or training in Han. Just drop me a message either on Instagram. I will link my Instagram below, or here under any of my videos. I will answer you for sure. And thank you so much again for all the subscribers once again. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because of you guys. So thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.